Greetings, fellow detectives. Today's video is brought to you by the patrons over at Mystique Manor. Thank you for your continued support. Welcome to episode 2 of How to Solve All the Puzzles. This is a series where I create a video guide, game by game, of how to solve all of the puzzles in each Nancy Drew PC adventure. These videos only include puzzles that you must solve in order to progress in the game, including tips and tricks for solving the puzzles on your own, as well as final solutions. Game triggers and character discussions are not included. Timestamps for each puzzle are in the description down below. This video was created with the help of the Game Boobers walkthrough by Norma Kuderna, Linda Shaw, and Ozma38. This walkthrough will be linked in the description box down below. Today's video covers how to solve all of the puzzles in Nancy Drew Stay Tuned for Danger. This is Nancy's second mystery in which she travels to New York City to investigate death threats that are being made against Rick Arlen, the star of a soap opera called Light of Our Love. This game has 3 difficulty levels: Junior Detective, Senior Detective, and Master Detective. The majority of the puzzles are the same, however, a couple of them do change depending on the difficulty level that you choose. Today I will be playing on Master Detective to show you the most difficult version of all of the puzzles. In Mattie's dressing room, you'll find a box with a letter that's been torn up. This is not a required puzzle, but you may want to complete it anyway for the useful information in the letter. This is a classic jigsaw puzzle. The only strategy that I have is to look at the letters in between the words. It also helps to turn all of the words so that they are facing the correct direction before you try to figure out the correct spots. Once all of the letters are facing the correct way, classic jigsaw puzzle rules apply. It's usually best to complete the straight edges first, as you know that they have to be in those locations. After that, look in between the lines to see the words that match up. For example, I can see the word support here and the bottom part of support. So I know that these 2 pieces will need to go next to each other. Once all the pieces are in the correct locations, the note will seal itself. After you've watched Mattie and Rick's scene, you can explore the studio. One important thing to grab from the studio is to the left on the workbench. Take one of the screwdrivers. You'll need it later. As soon as you are able, it's a good idea to explore Rick's dressing room. There is one item that you will definitely need. In the drawer in Rick's dressing room, get the 3D glasses. You'll need these later. Once you have a job as an extra on the set, you'll be able to enter the prop room. But before you can do so, Millie will ask you some riddles.
I need to get something from Mattie from the prop room. I see. Well, I don't just let anyone enter my prop room without showing me that they're clever enough to take on the responsibility. Listen to my riddle, and when you know the correct answer, I'll let you in. What is full of holes but holds water?
Depending on what difficulty level you are playing, the answers to Millie's riddles will all be different. Since I'm playing on Master Detective, the answers to my riddles are sponge.
Very good. Let's see if you can answer one more. The more you make, the more you leave behind.
Footprints.
Oh, that was pretty easy. Let's try another one. What has 4 fingers and a thumb, but is not alive?
And glove. If you are playing on Junior Detective, the answers to Millie's riddles are fire, coin, and comb. If you are playing on Senior Detective, the answers to Millie's riddles are clock, mirror, and towel, though not necessarily in that order.
That's it! I have stumped many people with my riddles, but you are quite the sleuth. You may go and enter the prop room now, while I go and unpowder my nose.
Once you have solved Millie's riddles and gained access to the prop room, there are several important things for you to do. You don't necessarily have to do all of them on the first try, but the sooner you get these important tasks done, the easier it will be for you in the long run. One of the puzzles is in this trunk in the prop room. This puzzle is called a Tower of Hanoi. Move the rings over one by one. Your moves can always be undone. Smaller ones must go first. Large over small is an instant curse. Move the rings to another side. With success, the key will unhide. As the directions say, your goal is to get the completed tower from the left side of the board to the right side of the board. You can only place smaller rings on top of larger rings, not the other way around. One good strategy that I use when completing these puzzles is to move the entire tower over to the middle rung first, because you need to move the tower over piece by piece. It ends up being easier to have the full tower in the middle since you're going back and forth rather than attempting to move the whole thing right away over to the right-hand side. Once the largest ring is freed up, you can move it over to the right-hand side and begin to rebuild the tower. This puzzle is the same on Junior Detective, Senior Detective, and Master Detective, but the number of rings will differ depending on the difficulty. However, the strategy remains the same. When you have completed the puzzle, you will receive a clock hand. Take this because you will need it later. Another extremely important step in the prop room is to look at this map. There is a clue around the outside, but that's not the important part. What's important is that you lift up the corner of the map and take these wire cutters. If you do not take these wire cutters at this point in the game, it is very likely that you will soft lock yourself later on in Rick's dressing room. So make sure you take the wire cutters. It's also helpful to look into the box of doorknobs and take one for later. Another important item to grab is on these shelves to the left. Pick up the oil can. The oil can will come in handy later. Most of the other items in the prop room are simply things that you can look at. Many of them are cookies to Nancy Drew games, for example, the sign of the twisted candles or the clue of the whistling bagpipe. Two other things that are important to look at are on Millie's desk. First, check the typewriter.
The typewriter drops its Y.
And note that the typewriter drops its Y. This is important because we've seen it in some of the death threats that have been sent to Rick. Also be sure to look at Millie's prop room logbook. Open it up. And solve this cipher. The numbers correspond to the letters in the alphabet in the order that they are found. So for example, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and so on. After you've deciphered the note, you'll realize that you need to lift up a corner of the logbook. Open up the logbook and in the upper right-hand corner, click to reveal a computer login, username, Millie, and password, WWB1958. At this point, you have found the required items in the prop room and are ready to progress. About midway through the game, you will trigger the bomb scene in Rick Arlen's dressing room. The door will open slightly. Enter the room and notice the threatening message on the mirror. Hit play on the tape recorder.
Hello, Rick. Don't try to run the room.
Click on the top of the tape recorder and use the screwdriver
Somewhere in this room is an explosion.
one at a time to remove each screw. The bomb will be revealed. As far as I know, there is no clue as to what the order is supposed to be. It's just process of elimination. Use your wire cutters. Yellow, red, orange, blue. At this point in the game, you'll need to explore the studio at night. Notice that there's a new letter next to the phone. In this letter is the side entry code, 3689, that will allow you to enter the building at night. At nighttime, you'll first want to explore Lillian's office. Go to the side of the studio to find the signed entrance. And remember the code that we found earlier, 3689. Move quickly, otherwise you will be caught eventually by Ralph.
I need something to make this work.
Use your card to jimmy the lock to get into Lillian's office. Once you are in Lillian's office, there is a lot of exploring to do, but one important thing you need to do is on the computer. Use the login that you found earlier in the prop room. Login name, Millie. Password, WWB1958. Click on the key to see all of the passwords. Notice that the password to unlock the control room is actor. Turn around and find this clipboard under the TV. On the back page, you'll find something that you need to read with 3D glasses. Using the glasses that you got from Rick's dressing room, look at the image and find the letters that spell out actor. A-C-T-O-R. The symbols that match up with the letters will help you unlock the control room. Now that we have the code, we can enter the control room. Look for the lower left corner with no dot, the upper left corner with no dot, the lower right corner with a dot, the left middle with a dot, and the center with a dot. You've now gained access to the control room.
I need to find the key for this.
You'll need to find a key to unlock the high voltage box in the control room. To do this, go to the grandfather clock on the set. As far as I know, there is no clue as to what time you are supposed to set the clock. Most of the time, this puzzle can be solved by process of elimination, but if you want to skip ahead, put the clock hand on 11. You now have the key that you need for the high voltage box in the control room. Using the key, unlock the high voltage box and turn the power on. It's the same key to unlock the panel. The light is now on so that you can see where the levers need to be. To complete this puzzle, move the top lever once, the middle lever once, the top lever once, and the bottom lever 3 times. You can now start the generator.
The wheel is stuck.
The wheel to bring the ladder down is stuck. Use the oil can that you got before. This part is optional but does give you a good clue as to who the culprit could be. When you explore the scaffolding, you'll notice this piece of fabric. Now that the generator is going, you can open this trap door and pull the lever to go down. This helps you enter the locked area in the prop room, where you will find several important clues, including a shirt that's torn that matches the fabric that we found on the scaffolding, as well as an employee ID card for Owen W. Spader, ID number 31867-2001. To escape the culprit, you must complete a randomized memory puzzle by first pulling the fire alarm and then by opening the vacuum door lock. The puzzle is different every time and is different depending on junior, senior, or master detective. It's a basic memory puzzle with a process of elimination and a clear order strategy being the most efficient. Always start in the same spot and go in the same direction. I like to start at the top and move clockwise until I've found the correct order. Just remember which pieces go where.
He's coming down!
Open up in there! Open up! Places, everyone!
Hurry, Nancy! He's coming down! Think, Nancy, think!
This concludes all of the puzzles in Nancy Drew's Stay Tuned for Danger. I hope you found this video guide helpful. If you did, please feel free to like this video and let me know in the comment section which puzzle in Stay Tuned for Danger gives you the most difficulty. Today's video was brought to you by the patrons over at Mystique Manor. Thank you for your continued support. If you would like to support the making of more content like this, please consider joining us at Mystique Manor to help the channel grow. As always, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Nancy Drew and Sims 4 content. Thank you so much for watching, fellow detectives. I will see you soon.